so that we move faster. We'll now move on to the topic we are supposed to have for today because of time. So today we are going to be looking at the types of information sources. Like I said, the internet is disturbing, so we are going to move as fast as possible. We'll move as fast as possible. You may not be seeing me, but please.
Let them mute their call. We can't hear.
It's all right.
Can you mute everyone?
I will mute everyone now, yeah.
Everyone okay.
Okay. Who is that person?
You can only see the app screen. The screen is not that showing full.
Sorry.
You should be removing them people making noise. They don't know how to remove them. You should remove them.
I'm even trying to see what can. Okay. I don't know why this thing is. Okay, let's start sharing first. Okay. I'll reshare, please. And I hope we will stop making noise so that we can move as fast as we can. Yeah, we are going to be looking at the different types of information sources. Please, let us just move. You may not be seeing me, but please, let's move fast. So today we are looking at the different types. Why would you learn information sources? Now, basically, if you don't know the information sources and you don't know the type of information you need, you are not likely to get there. So you are expected to know the different types of information sources, and you should be able to identify them, differentiate one from the other. So we are going to be looking at the three basic forms of information sources. We are moving very fast, so please. Now, the three basic forms of information sources are primary information sources, secondary information sources, tertiary sources of information. Primary, secondary, and tertiary sources of information. Now, you know your questions may come in different forms. Now, what are the primary sources? I want you to pay attention because I can just list a particular material and begin to ask you, is it a primary information you will get from this type of material or secondary types of information? Now, how do you identify primary sources of information? The primary sources of information, in a nutshell, they are original materials. They have not been colored, no connotations. They have not been subjected to different types of interpretation. They are new information. They are in their original form. I want you to take notes. It's easy to identify because this is information that has not been subjected to any form of analysis. It is true, it is in its original form. I'll give you a good example of it. It's a research work. If you are giving a research work, a research that somebody else has not done before, and that is what research is all about, adding to the wealth of knowledge. And you go to research on it and come back with original information. That one will become a primary source of information. So we have primary sources of information. We are going to be looking at them because I actually listed them. Now, in that place, I think I listed some. We'll still go on. I listed some. So please, somebody is trying to spoil our screen. Please, Olusola, watch it. Watch what you are doing with your screen. Olusa, watch what you are doing. We need to move very fast now. So we are looking at the different. We are looking at the different sources of information. Please pay attention. Remember, I just told you the internet is epileptic. If we are privileged to be in this, we are privileged to have it now. Please let us pay attention. So we have different types, such as you have the diaries, you have letters, original letters, any original documents, patents. You know what patents are now? Patents are original products of intellectuals. So they are patents, and they don't want anybody to copy it. It's in its original form, and those are also original sources of information. Same thing, photographs, news articles, research reports, artifacts that you see everywhere. They are original sources of information. So we are going to be looking at the secondary sources of information now. If I have to remove all of this, I have to stop the sharing and reshare for you to stop seeing all this. So just bear with me. And we don't have, the problem with the internet now. So please, what about the secondary type? We have just explained what the primary types of information is. I give you an example. I wanted to be giving you examples so that in the course of your exam, if any question is twisted, no matter who set the question, you are able to answer. Now, looking at one of you, maybe somebody is about to look at to interview President Buhari, and his speech or whatever is going to be in his original. Yeah, like as I was saying, if for the primary source, the sources of information, they are in its original form, but this secondary source of information, usually they are derived from the primary sources of information. It's good that you understand what you are doing. When you are doing your research work, you are likely to be using primary sources of information, of course, but that is most of the time, but you will need every type. You are likely to combine both primary, secondary, and tertiary sources of information when you are doing your research work. That secondary sources of information, they are basically based on secondary sources of information. They don't give you first-hand experience at all. Whatever the secondary source of information is giving you, it has already been subjected to analysis. It has been subjected to different types of interpretation by intellectuals. It has been evaluated. People already have discussed it. So it's no longer primary. It's no longer first-hand information. So we have example sources where you will have secondary sources of information. For instance, most of the textbooks you have, they are not primary sources of information. I will say all textbooks, even your course material, they are not in the original form. I read up to come up with what to have in your course material. So it's not original source of information. It's a secondary source that has been based on a primary source. The same thing with all the textbooks. Biographies you see, commentaries, some commentaries, criticisms, dictionaries, of course, they are all secondary sources of information. Then so I tried this distinguishing between primary and secondary source of information. I expect that you will look at them and see the distinguishing factors. Of course, you will see maps. When we map enter there, it remains original. Nobody will go and create and distort a map. So you will see that that map remains a primary source of information. So we are going to move. I don't know if I will see where we can still try to distinguish between the primary source of information and then the secondary sources of information. I'm sure that, please, if you can, use example. If you just give me an example, that would just go, so that other members of the class will understand what you mean by primary source of information or secondary source of information. And of course, primary sources of information will give you primary information. Secondary sources of information will give you secondary information. Okay, so now I'm going to stop the share. Please, we don't really have that much time. And we are going to take only 2 people, just 2 people. I'll stop the share so that 2 people will just help us. Okay, sorry, it's not usually my practice to rush this class. When I come to class, I like to relax. I like to make sure that it's not rushed, but this internet, I don't know what the problem is these days. I don't know. So please, only 2 people, a male and a female. So we are going to be taking Mr. Sunday and Adama. Both of you. Taiwo, I'm sorry. Olusa, I'm sorry. Please, I'm sorry. You can send your question to the chat, and let me see if I will have time, but I doubt you understand. Okay, but Mr. Sunday, please take the floor. Ask your question.
Okay. I was thinking we are still interacting on the primary and the secondary, the differences, right?
Yes.
Okay. The primary source of information, information that are in their original form. The information have not been manipulated. They have not been tampered with. They are raw information that have not been analyzed statistically or otherwise. These are,
in fact, you have used better language than myself. Thank you.
Okay.
I think you have done justice to that. Why secondary information? That's your primary. Yes. So what about secondary information?
Secondary information are information that are gotten from primary information. That means information that have been worked upon. That is from the primary information and secondary information. Like the textbooks that you talked about, someone has actually look at parameters in that particular field and then go further to discuss them on what those parameters in the field of that textbook are the primary source. Now, what do they really mean? Now, working on those things become the secondary source of the information.
Thank you. Somebody has worked on them. I like the way Mr. Sunday explained primary and secondary information. He understood it. I could see him demonstrating it. He used his own language because he understood it. As Mr. Sunday is now, no matter how I twist the question, he will answer it correctly because he understands the concepts. And that is how I want you to learn. So Mr. Sunday understood it. So you can see that he has actually given us, we are still going to move fast because we don't have much time. Next person, Adama, please. Next person.
Yes, ma. He took the word from my mouth exactly. It was that the same way.
Okay, fine. So we are going back to class.
I want to say that the secondary information are information that have been diluted. You know, it's no longer raw. Have been diluted.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Some people wrote, please, I will not be able to. I'm sure if you listen to this class, you would have understood what we were talking about. So we are moving back to our sharing so that we'll look at other types of information now. We are looking at now the tertiary type of information. The tertiary types of information, you can see the way I prepared this slide. If you look at it, I said they are pointers. Pointers. Most times, tertiary sources of information are just listing. Most times, so indexing. You will just see them pointing you to primary source, pointing you to secondary source. So these are tertiary sources of information, basically. They will lead you to a primary source or lead you to a secondary source or even a combination of both. So that is what we mean by tertiary source of information. Now we are going to be looking at the examples. I gave you some of the examples, you know, bibliographies, indexes, directories, they are all pointers, they are all pointers. Okay, so here you have, we have just trying to differentiate between primary, secondary, and tertiary sources of information. You can look at them, please, at your own spare time, but I just want us to look at quickly some types of information, because when you now say primary, of course, primary type of information will give you primary information. And what is primary information? Somebody was said in original form. Most time they are factuals. Okay, so we are going to be looking at types of information. So types of information, you have factual versus analytical information, objective versus subjective information, primary versus secondary information, current versus historical information. Now, what do I mean by all of this? What do I mean by all of this? What are these factual information? When somebody said it is a fact, I know that my intelligence students already know that it means it is not. So don't worry, oh, this internet that is misbehaving, we defeat it. So So we are looking at the factual type of information, and we are saying it's not disputable. Then we have also analytical type of information. So, but this kind of analytical type of information, I'm sure you people will understand, is when very intelligent, highly intelligent people are subjected an information into analysis. By that time you will see that it is now analytical information. Most times I would say that it is not. Sorry, please.
There was a place that wrote mute, and this thing I unmuted.
Okay, please. I'm just trying to make sure that I mute everyone, and yeah, please. I lower your hands, so. So now we are going to, yes. So the analytical forms of information.
You are doctor.
So sorry, please pay attention. I'm battling, trying my best to ensure that you enjoy this class. So please, let's pay attention.
Okay, come, let's pray so that you people can do.
Okay, fine. Yeah, so that is analytical type. You have seen it. I said most times they are research work. You will see they have been subjected to analysis by intellectuals. So, and then you have the objective type of information. Objective information. Of course, if I say that girl is very objective, no, that work is objective. It means it is unbiased. It has been subject to analysis and discovered to be true, factual. This information is unbiased. It's not like you are giving me something by your own opinion. No. So that is what we mean. It is non-judgmental, balanced, objective. You have looked at it from different angles. So that is objective information. Subjective information is when you are looking at it from your point of view, your own point of view. It might be even two people looking at it from their own point of view. And it's not subject to any form of analysis. They are just saying, I just feel like, oh, you look beautiful. That's just it. So it's subjective. You are no objectivity attached to it. And then you also have current or historical information. You know what current information, up-to-date information is. Historical information, you know when you need historical information. You should know some historical information are not current. They are just history. You have no option. You just have to accept them the way they are. And you know that some different kinds of people will be needing historical kind of information. I hope you know. Some type of people will be needing current. If I say somebody is ill now and he needs some medical advice, he will go for current information. He will not want to see how, for instance, diabetes is treated in 1920. He wants current information on it. What about historical? But some people, some group of people are still working Note, we have come to the
And
end. We have come to the end of this class.
we have come to the end.
We have come to the end. You can see that the internet really dealt with us. And even last week, we also had issues with the internet. So, but please, I want us to understand. I would upload this video, even though it will be disjointed here and there because of the interruption. Please watch the video.
We are song, please run around.
Secondly, please can you mute yourselves and be in this class? Secondly, ensure that you also read your course material. Very important. Read up all the topics. Don't say, no, I will just read topic one. Topic one is just okay. No, please, I'm enjoining you to read up everything. Do you know why? Yeah, try to read up everything. The reason being that we just bank our questions. We operate on question bank. Nobody knows which one they will pull out. I don't know the questions that will be asked. Okay? So the best thing is for you to sit up and read. The course materials are well explained. Simple language. So you are able to understand. If you would just put your heart to it, I'm sure you would do well. So on that note, I don't know, Joy, is it so pressing? We still have a minute left. Joy, please address the class.
Good afternoon, Ma.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Ma, for this wonderful class. I really enjoyed it, Ma. God bless you, Ma.
I just want to add that hello, Ma.
I want to say something that most of the things that you said now is not inside our course material.
That is why you are in this class.
Okay,
I am not a copy and paste. A lot that
I want to ask, hello, Ma. Hello, good afternoon, Ma.
Ask your question. We'll answer your.
And I wanted to just ask that this video, will it be on the e-learn platform of today's lecture?
Yeah. Yes.
Somebody said that this is not in our course material. Is it true?
No,
It's not true.
It's not true. It's not true. It's there in your course material, but I am explaining it in such a way that when you will comprehend it.
yes.
Okay. Oh, it's not true. So next person, the last person.
Ma, I say that most of it is not inside.
Like what do you want me to say? Everything is there. Okay? But my is and was is not there because I'm a different human being. I explained it as it appeared to me when I was. Your course material is not true. Next person, please.
Yes, thank you very much, Ma.
You're welcome.
Hello, good afternoon, Ma. Hello.
Yes, who is Ada? Is it Ada that spoke now?
And it's Bukola that is talking, Ma.
Okay, Blessing. Who is to speak now? It's Blessing.
Good afternoon, Ma.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. I very much do appreciate it. And I thank
but
you
we want to see your face now, Miss Nigeria. We want to see your real person. You're showing us only picture. This is a formal class.
I'm sorry, Ma. I'm in a very busy environment.
Okay, carry on.
Okay, Ma. Thank you very much, Ma. One of the challenges that we are having in this class.
Just mute everybody, please.
One of the
Okay.
challenges that we're having, Ma, is because
The class has
everybody.
ended, though. I don't know why you people, those ones that are making noise, they can leave now if they are no more interested. Class has officially. Hello, yes. Blessing, unmute
Yes,
yourself.
ma'am. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. I've
Okay,
done
yes,
that. Thank
carry
you
on.
very much, ma'am. One of the problem is that everyone is talking at the same time. So they are making the class very uninteresting and it's stressing you. I don't want you to be stressed because I like your fine face. And another thing is this. If we turn off our videos, this is why I actually am clamoring that we turn off our videos, is if we turn it off, it makes the network to be strong so that we don't have all this break here and break there. So if everybody can come into class, turn off their videos, but if you want to speak and you feel like turning on your video, then you can turn it on if it's convenient for you. Thank you very much, ma'am.
That is a suggestion.
Class,
If you say it will make
new
our
class
network better. If
Yes,
you say
ma'am,
it
it
will make
will.
our network better.
New class rep.
I don't know. I have not. I will investigate. I don't know everything.
Yes, ma'am. Right from COVID-19 time in 2020, I started hosting videos. And that was when I discovered that having people turn off their videos for programs that are very large helps the class move smoothly. One, it will not disturb the broadband. Two, the voices will be controlled and everything. So we are having to look at only one person.
Well, I will
not looking at
investigate.
other people.
You know, it has its own advantages and disadvantages.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. She's saying the truth fact. Like, I agree with what she's saying.
Is Blessing still with us? Blessing, I will investigate.
It's not correct.
No,
it's correct.
Don't worry.
It is
No,
very
we are not here
correct,
to refute
sir.
Blessing. You know me,
It's only
I'm
the
always
voice.
learning.
It's
When
only
you
the
stop
voice that should be
learning, you
muted.
stop leading. Where you
The voice should be muted for everybody.
Why-
Once the
why-
voice is muted for
If
everybody,
you mute the
you
voice,
hear
it will
one
only mean
person.
that there's no noise. But what
Yes.
about this glitch that is making click, 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 and all the things? Like now you are breaking, I'm no longer hearing you. That's because of the video, not the voice.
Well,
I'm not even using
you can't
video.
be sure. You can't be sure, Blessing. But
Yeah,
like
yes,
I
ma'am.
said,
Yes,
I don't
ma'am.
want to
I
start.
think-
I don't want to start dying. I'm still learning.
Yes, ma'am. I
not
think both
correct.
the video.
Okay,
I think both the
That's a good
video and
suggestion.
the
Yeah.
it's
voice
all right.
notes
It's
should
not
be
Now,
correct.
muted.
the
Zoom
reason
is
why I
created
have
to
my reason why I
accommodate
have you
everybody.
put on your video, because so many of you will just you click, you would enter the class and you will not pay attention. You will not, you
Yes,
will
ma'am.
enter the class and your mind is on, you are even doing something else. You
Some
can
people will
you
be
may
in
not
the
even
Sorry,
listen
ma'am.
at all.
Sorry,
So
ma'am.
usually we insist that you show your video to
Very
keep you in
important, ma'am.
class. We want you to learn maximally.
Yes.
The video is in a classroom. The video is very important that everybody shows the video. The Zoom is created in a way to accommodate video as many as you have it. The only thing that causes cringe, that causes trouble on Zoom is the voice. So if once you are speaking, it brings you up to the displayed video, the display picture or whatever you have. So if everybody is muted and only one person is speaking, then you have a smooth class. It doesn't matter the number of videos that is on.
I
Zoom
will
is
find out. You know, this is a
for
large
that.
class. This class
Yes.
is particularly large, and I'm going to complain to the coordinator and let us
Yes.
see what we are going to do to make it better.
I agree with you,
I want
ma'am.
all of us
Yeah.
to
Yes, ma'am.
gain
We agree.
maximally
I agree with you, ma'am.
from the
Before
class.
you I have a question to ask.
Yes, ma'am. We
Okay,
agree
you
on.
can see we have passed our class. Do you want us
Hello.
to remain here?
Ma, please, it's important.
Yes, so
I have a question to ask.
Extra time needed, ma.
Okay.
Why do you don't have any class?
Hello, ma.
Yes.
So, ma, I have a question to ask.
Wait. Continue.
Hello.
Yes.
Good
Who is
evening, ma.
speaking?
Is Divine speaking?
Divine, speak on.
Okay, but I want to know why I have not been able to attempt to my TMA. Is still under restriction.
Is it TMA1?
Yes, if you under the
It's a
switch, I have
serious issue.
tried
Please
all
move straight to your study center. Don't even stay there and be complaining, because very soon it will be over. Next person, please.
Hello, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
Please, ma. Good evening, ma. I wanted to ask if you
That
have
will be our last question for today.
I wanted to ask,
hello,
ma,
ma.
if you have defined
to
the
advise you on
specialized library
something.
services.
Hold on now.
Who is speaking?
It's David, ma. David. I want to ask if you have defined
David,
specialized
okay,
library
speak
services.
on.
I want to ask, ma, if you have defined the specialized library services.
Yes, you will have it in your notes. Please go there, okay?
Okay, ma.
Can I
Thank you.
advise you on something, ma?
Hello.
Hello,
Yes,
ma.
ma'am.
Can I advise you on something?
Okay, please, can you send it? Is it, if it's a private advice, send it through the chat or through another means?
No, it's still on Zoom. It's still pertaining
Is
to
it
the
on this
lecture.
Zoom?
Yes, yes.
Okay, carry on.
Okay, there is a command in Zoom. There are two commands. There is one that if you don't want anybody to unmute themselves in your own set as a host, there's a command there in the setting where you can press that even if they try to unmute themselves, they cannot. So automatically, you are the only one that will be allowed to speak as a host. Then there is another one where you can give them a command to unmute themselves. So if you want to, in the beginning of your lecture, you can use that first one. In that way, even though they try to unmute themselves, they cannot, because from your end, you are automatically disallow anybody to unmute themselves. So if you use that kind of command while the lecture is going on, that will help you a lot. And this interference we are
Young
having
man, I
is due to
agree with
connection.
you. Do you know what? That's what I usually do. But because of the
Yes.
interruption in my network, once it gets interrupted, I come into the class, rush again. There is already off. Okay. Most times when I mute you all, I say no, you are not permitted to unmute. But because of the interruption, it will continue to be on and off.
Hello, ma. Sorry, I have something to say
Yes.
about these primary sources and secondary sources of information.
That's the last question.
So about the primary source, you mentioned that map is also a source of primary information. And for me, I am thinking that would be secondary. And this is the reason. Because of where I work and the kind of nature of my job, I know that before you can create a map, you need to go to the sources, which are the communities or points of interest, wherever you want to go to, before you can put together all of these things. So for this reason, I think map should be under primary, secondary, not primary source.
No, they are still secondary, even though you went to the community to snap and to put it together. It's not distorted. If you go there in 20 years, that is still the map. That is how it is. Hello, I hope we are together. I hope we are together. David,
yes, we are together.
Yes, I hope we are together. Mr. Friday, you know, it means indisputable. Can you dispute your map?
Yes, ma, you can.
You yes, except it's an error, but it is your map, it is an original source.
Yeah, jokingly,
like
you know that development is going on everywhere in the nation. Yes,
so many things can change.
Yeah.
No,
but
so
I understand where you're
is,
coming from.
So I hope you understand that
yes,
information is in its original form. Even if the situation has changed, you go back there, you take it. That is how it is, and that is how it will remain for many more years. So that is why, you know, there's nothing actually that does not change. Sure. When we say the minutest thing is an atom, it changed after some years, even though we categorize it under factual. You know, after some time it changed. So, you know, that will also be put into consideration. So that is why we are saying it is an original form, including your marriage certificate and some other things like that, some documents, official documents. Please, I know we all want to ask questions, but this is already 11 minutes past 4. And we are going to call it a day.
Thank you, ma.
My very interesting.
Thank you, ma. Thank you, ma. God bless you, ma.
I appreciate you all, and I wish you all the best. Please make
Amen. Thank you, ma. Thank you, ma.
Thank you, ma.
as paramount. Give it attention, and you will score your 98%. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you, ma.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Lord.
Please, let's get ourselves to enjoy the class more better. Let's learn how to mute ourselves next time.
Susan, play.
Oh, I didn't think that fell out today. Wait, don't take it out today. Return my value quickly.
Please, anybody organizing the group, make sure everybody is there, please.
Sorry, you said what?
Leave that out.
I said anybody creating a WhatsApp group, make sure everybody is accommodated, I beg.
Yeah, so who is creating? We need to know so that the person can add everybody there, and then we can all be in line.
I thought somebody is organizing.
I think I saw
somebody is collecting.
Caleb David or something. I also saw that. But if you look at
please,
his part, he said anybody that wants to join the group should DM him. So I don't know. I think there's a number.
How do we get at his number now?
Let's go to this the conversations, the chat. You will see where numbers are being written there. Look at Joshua Caleb's chat, and then I think you will see where he wrote his number down. 08162455814. That's what I'm seeing here.
Please, my dear, take it again. Take it again. I can't see. Please help me. The numbers again, I beg.
I'm seeing 08162455814.
Yeah.
081. Oh, yeah.
Gently.
You said 081624558.
Yeah.
558 what?
814 08162455814.
Okay.
I think that their name is Caleb Joshua. I think he's the one adding people to the WhatsApp group. So probably if you DM him or
okay,
add it to the WhatsApp.
I appreciate. Okay, I appreciate. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. What's your name? I'm coming.
Can I call my number so that you
what?
Can I call my number? Drop my number with me in case if I'm not able to get that thing. Please.
Hey, madam.
Is it possible?
I'll call out the number again. Thanks.
Hello.
Hello, is it possible? Can I call my number?
Go ahead.
090
090
3966
39 what?
66
66, yeah.
090 3966 3757.
3757.
It's 57, 37, 57.
Yeah, I'll call you now. So if you don't get him, I'll call you.
All right. Oh, beloved, I appreciate. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm out. Bye, everyone.
Send you. We're not send you. We're not.
The class is over, Oga. Thank you,